Gee, I am doing great today because last night was the first night in it seems like a dog's age that I didn't have to worry about anything that was sports related.
A dog's age.
Yes, I mean, like, there were games on. There were different, you had the Flyers and Capitals on. You had a couple basketball games on, teams opening up their seasons on. I really wasn't interested. So what did I do? I fell asleep.
Great.
And I got a good night's sleep,
Awesome.
so I felt good about that. Plus, I also watched a couple of World War II documentaries. You know me.
Oh, yeah. I
Just want to brush up on my history.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was back to watching some YouTube golf. I had so many videos that were just stacked up there I hadn't seen.
That's right. So we got a little bit of a break, but we're getting ready to get right back in it, starting tonight with Thursday Night Football, of course. I got the Rangers and the Panthers rematch tonight down at Madison Square Garden. And, of course, tomorrow is the Knicks opening game and then the opening night of the World Series. So a lot of stuff going on this coming weekend, and we're all going to be locked into it, including the Giants at the Steelers and the Jets at the Patriots. And
hey, don't forget about tonight, Vikings-Rams.
Vikings-Rams, yeah, well, it's your team. That's right. So here's the thing in regards to Davante Adams, first and foremost, saying something in the locker room. There was a play after the interception that Davante Adams was nowhere in sight. And at the end of that play, he comes in and makes a diving tackle down on the 1 yard line. That one play tells me that that guy is all in. And that's the kind of play that the team will show, or the coaches will show to the team and say, this is the kind of effort we need. Even though this was a bad play and it turned out to be a negative for the Jets, the fact of the matter is, here's one of the best players in the league at his respective position. He's here for his first game, and he comes all the way back to make what seems like a meaningless tackle when he lays himself out. And we talked about it Monday morning, and people are like, who really cares? I mean, I'll tell you who cares. He cares. He gives a crap, and if more players gave a crap like he gave a crap, they wouldn't be sitting in this situation. And by the way, the entire team is waiting for Aaron Rodgers to do something, when in actuality, the rest of the team has got to hold up their end of the bargain as well. Yeah, Aaron hasn't played well the last 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody can see that. That's easy for all of us to see. What you really have to look at is you have to look at effort. You have to look at the way people are either going and putting their head in there to make a tackle or they're not, like a la Deontay Banks for the Giants.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, either know or you don't know. And, now is the time. And I think what Davante is doing, I really do appreciate, because he is what you would call a fresh set of eyes on a situation that he can see has a chance of unraveling, as Troy Aikman said a couple of weeks ago. So I do appreciate it. This is not nothing. It's something. And his performance and his attempt at that tackle and making that tackle shows me all I need to know what kind of pro he is. So that's the kind of player you want in your locker room. And I'm telling you, he's highly respected. Everybody in the league, around the league, loves the guy, thinks he's a terrific player. When he was at his height of his powers with Aaron Rodgers, he was the best route runner in the NFL, and nobody was even close. And I still think he has plenty left in the tank to give a lot more to the Jets. And hopefully this little meeting, does have something or some impact on the New York Jets come Sunday up in New England.
Yeah, and he said this is not baseball. You get 17 games, and you only have X amount of time to go out there and give it everything you've got to try to make the postseason. So, yeah, there's time right now, but gets late early.
Yeah, but this is really weird for me, and I hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, this is going to be really weird. He looks unbelievable in a uniform.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Garrett Wilson doesn't look like him in a uniform. He looks like Justin Jefferson looks like him in a uniform. Like, there's something about how big he is.
How about A.J. Brown?
A.J. Brown, how big, yeah, but how big he is. I don't know. It's just something about him in a uniform that just looks like amazing.
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about, so A.J. Brown was that guy for me. I took like a bunch of pictures of him on the sideline because he's just, I don't know, there's certain guys that stand out. Like, if you never watched football in your life and you went down to the sideline, you'd be like, okay, that guy's the best player on the team. You just know, you can see it.
You can tell when you look at him.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I know what you mean, and he comes with a lot of credibility, and hopefully that gets through to the team. I just don't know. I don't know what works. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers now hamstring injury on the injury reports, and now he's had a knee, he's had an ankle, he's had a hamstring. So you know what'll happen just because it's the Jets is they'll finally win a couple games in a row and get back on track, and then Aaron Rodgers will have to miss 4 games with some sort of issue.
Well, that's why they have Tyrod Taylor. So anyway,
it worked out great for the Giants last year, didn't it?
Funny conversation that I had with Phil Simms on Sunday doing the game between the Eagles and Giants. I said to Phil, I had my binoculars out.
Phil?
And I said, Phil, oh my gosh, look at Davante Smith. Look how skinny he is.
Yeah.
You could see it when you're watching the Eagles games, how skinny he is. You know what Phil says to me? He goes, oh, man, I love me some skinny wide receivers.
Really?
And I'm like, what?
Interesting. Yeah, which is sort of against his grain because he's a big, thick, base, butt.
Well, he is a big face and butt. But
yeah,
he was like, man, I love me some skinny wide receivers. I'm like, what?
Huh.
I mean, Davante Smith is really skinny.
Yeah, no, I know.
So is Garrett Wilson, by the way.
Yeah, it was shocking, honestly, to see how slight build Davante Smith was in person on that sideline.
Like AJ Brown and Davante Adams are not that.
No, not at all in any way, shape, or form. So. And Malik Neighbors isn't that either. I mean, Malik Neighbors he's a rookie. He's going to get bigger, but he's not skinny.
He's open.
He's open all the time.
Right now, he's open right now.
Allegedly.
Yes.
So yeah. I mean, you got 2 teams down that are 2-5 with a trade deadline that's still out there. You see some names that are getting tossed around, and Matt Stafford, Max Crosby, and others. I mean,
what happens tonight if the Rams beat the Vikings? Sean McVay is going to want to trade his quarterback and his wide receivers?
No, absolutely not. And I don't even think how real that is. Like, I have to look maybe deeper into their cap situation, the issues that they have.
Their cap is a mess.
Well, that's what I was alluding to.
Remember Les Snead, the GM out there?
Yeah, he said F them picks.
F them picks because, we signed all these free agents and made all these trades.
And traded all the picks away and they won a Super Bowl. So, but now, what's happening now, though, those decisions? You know what's going on?
No, what's going on?
They're coming home to roost.
Those and,
decisions.
Why doesn't that ever happen with the New Orleans Saints? I feel like they're always like $200 million over the cap.
But they're not doing anything. So, it's been roosting there. I mean, ever since Drew Brees left, they really haven't. They've been a nothing team.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying I feel like they still owe money to people that are not playing there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I feel about it.
Well, it's sort of like the Nets and the Mets here.
Yeah.
Just pay guys who are here.
It's going to be like the Dodgers with Ohtani.
Well, that is true. But
at least when Yankees sign a contract, they sign a real contract.
Contract.
Here's your money.
Right.
Here you go. We're not doing any of this Fugazi stuff.
Well, we'll see what happens with Soto. Soto might get
that could be a different story
situation. Yeah. But yeah, I'm surprised you hear Cooper Kupp, his name thrown out there, Stafford's name thrown out there. I mean, I think there's a very good chance that the Rams do win this game, especially with Cooper Kupp coming back. I mean, I don't see a world where this is a Vikings dominating performance, especially the way that they've played on defense the last couple of weeks where they haven't been as good. So.
I mean, Matthew Stafford is making $46 million this year. And he's got another year on this contract that he's presently on. And then after next year, they can get out of the contract. So it's like a Davante Adams situation, a Max Crosby situation, one of those contracts.
Yeah.
But his dead cap, the cap hit for them right now is $46 million. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess... the dead cap is really not that much, actually. I don't know. There's an option bonus. There's all sorts of stuff.
Well, I mean, hold
on. Here's the dead cap.
I'm assuming that it's possible. And that's all you really need to know once you sift through all the details. Is it possible? Is it not possible?
The dead cap is, according to this, the spot track, the dead cap for them is $94 million. And that was coming into this year. So a lot of his money's already been paid. The dead cap next year would be like $49 million.
Yeah, there could be like a post June 1 situation, whatever. I don't know. It's so confusing, but
isn't it annoying?
It is. It's not quite as confusing as the NBA, but it is confusing. I don't. Why in the NFC would anybody at this stage of the season start trading away guys? Unless you're the Carolina Panthers, who are the worst team. I mean, the NFC is wide open.
The NFC is wide open, especially the NFC West at the moment. The NFC North is a little bit dicey.
Well, it's a
The
good
NFC
division. Every
the
team.
NFC South has got the Falcons and and the Bucks.
Yeah. So I mean, it would just be shocking to me if they ended up trading away Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford and whoever the hell else. It just doesn't make any sense. So, and they could win tonight, and that changes everything. But okay, so if you're the Giants though, and you've got this
you got 5 losses.
yeah, and obviously the 5 losses for the Giants different than the 5 losses for the Jets at this point because the Jets are all in on this season. They're going to wait to the very last moment before they're completely dead to do anything.
Well, they got Hassan Reddick right now.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
This starts the season
The
right
catalyst.
now.
The
season
catalyst.
has started now.
Now they're in.
This is where it begins, according to Al Dukes.
So
And by the way, did you see that Rob Saleh is consulting with the Packers?
I did. That's his buddy.
They're very tight buddies. They
That
were
was his
college
best
roommates.
man in his wedding and the
Matt
whole thing.
LaFleur. So Matt LaFleur. Now I don't know if this is a dig at the Jets. The Packers don't like the Jets. The Packers don't like Aaron Rodgers. They don't like anything about it. Whatever. Matt LaFleur said he hired Rob Saleh to consult with his offense.
Did he
He's
say
got
that?
a fluid situation going on, consulting with the Packer offense.
Well, he's probably, but all right. The way that's worded, he could be using his defensive genius, for lack of a better term, to help out the offense and say, hey, if you see this, you see that. I'm seeing some things. This is how I would play.
Well, why couldn't he do that with the Jets?
Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe. Well, actually, you know what? He didn't because Aaron Rodgers is there. Aaron Rodgers is running.
But
the show.
I thought Rob, when he was here, said he was going to be overlooking the offense.
Right after they almost hired Arthur Smith. So I don't know. I just know that he is there now, and I'm going to pick the Packers to lose this week because he's
Don't be like that.
going to torpedo the season.
Man, you are like just relentless. Guy's out of here now.
No, I know. You said it was the right move.
I did. I felt like, if they're going to try to save this, because something was going on internally.
Yeah.
You know that. I know that. And I don't know if it happened on the plane back from London. I don't know if it happened on the plane to London. It sounded to me like Rob was getting really frustrated. Rob Saleh was getting really, really frustrated with the offense. And he wanted to make changes. He was going to make changes. Changes have ultimately been made. But he ended up getting released. I don't know why. It has to be something between Woody, Christopher, and Aaron Rodgers. There has to be some sort of ironclad agreement that the Johnson brothers wanted to be able to allow Nathaniel Hackett to stay here.
Yeah, but the way things played out, that doesn't make sense.
And the offense is not doing something, and you're the head coach. And you internally, you're not happy with what's going on and how the team is unprepared, or in your eyes, the team is unprepared.
Yeah, but once Ulbrich came in, he still made that switch to Todd Downing, and it sounded like every person who talked about Nate Hackett after that was like, "We're so happy that he's staying," and I told him I appreciate you that you're staying. So it was implied that they said, "Listen, you can go if you want." We understand.
I told you that.
And he stayed. So it had the
where's he gonna
ironclad
go?
deal with the owners is not. It can't be a thing. If they told him you can go, and they still demoted him.
But my point being is that if Rob Saleh wanted to make this change and maybe wanted to fire Nathaniel Hackett, maybe he wanted to fire him, not just switch to Todd Downing, but fire him completely. And Woody didn't want that because of the agreement that he has with Aaron Rodgers. Then he's going to fire the guy that may have said to Woody, hey, look, I can't coach this team under the current set of circumstances the way the offense is playing. I've got to shake this thing up. And I think the best thing to do would be to get one of these guys out of the building, meaning Nathaniel Hackett. And Woody, knowing that he has an agreement with Aaron Rodgers to get him here in the first place, maybe said, hey, look, man, you're not firing the guy. You're not getting rid of him. He's staying here. And maybe that was the phone call that Woody had with Aaron. Hey, look, I'm going to let the head coach go. But, we want to make a change to the offensive coordinator. Your guy can stay here if he wants. But if he wants to leave, he can leave too. It's up to him. Maybe something like that. Again, I'm speculating. Maybe something like that went down.
Yeah, well, at this point, the details are sort of Irrelevant because they're in the midst. They've just lost 2 games after Rob Saleh is gone, and nothing has worked. And lost 1 game with Davante Adams. And I'm telling you, with the mess that is the New England Patriots right now, if there is any way that they lose that football game to the Patriots, then forget it. Then just pack it up. Pack it up for the rest of the year. Like, don't even play the rest of the games. If they lost to that team when there's a mutiny going on in that locker room with their head coach, just call them soft. Imagine.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, the head coach is a former player. And when you play, it's one thing to say it because you're a part of the team. You're on the field. You could be the team captain, and you have some privileges and rights that maybe you can get away with saying something like that. When you're the coach, you could say something like that too. But I can tell you this, the way that the people outside the building are going to react to it, and like how Max Crosby is reacting to it, a player for the Raiders who was asked on the Jim Gray podcast that he does with him, he goes, hey, those are fighting words. I'd want to fight my coach. So now the players in that locker room are hearing how active players and ex-players are all responding to it. So now they have to respond to it internally. And this is where a rookie head coach can sometimes get himself in trouble. Now, DeMeco Ryans never went down that road with Houston because he didn't have to, because he had a rookie quarterback. It was exciting. Everything was great. Gerard Mayo goes down that road because basically the team has no offense whatsoever. Now, all of a sudden, I will say that Drake May has given them some offense, but they had no offense for the first 5 weeks of the season. Then the defense gets run through by Tank Bigsby this past week. What is Gerard Mayo supposed to say?
Well, not to the media.
But then again,
that
your
they're
boy
soft.
Bill Belichick decided to say, hey, those are all the same players I had, and we had the #1 run defense. Yeah, he's great. He's just like ripping away on everybody.
But it's great. You don't love it? I love it.
I appreciate it, but for all the years that I covered him and them and everything else, you always, like, when he stood up there and said, we're on to Cincinnati, or like he really didn't want to talk about losses and we can't do anything about it.
It's a different job, though.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's like,
I understand. But now he is just ripping away at people who have very, very difficult jobs.
yeah, but
And you would think if anybody knew that, it would be him.
But he's going to be he knows he's so smart that he knows what the best thing to do for his head coach job is, speaking to the media, how to present himself, and what the best job he could do. He's got to say stuff here in the media. I mean, it's almost like having that friend in high school who was always breaking laws and doing dumb stuff that turned into a police officer. You're like, wait a second, how can you be a police officer? But you
Exactly.
Like,
It's exactly right.
But like, hey, it's a different job now. I'm a different person, and I'm deciding to do this.
And I'm going to rip away at people, which is good. I mean, that's who he is. That's what he wants to do. That's fine. Hey, by the way.
Yeah.
Supposedly there were reports that he has a skeleton coaching staff ready to rock and roll right out of the gate.
Skeleton coaching staff?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I thought he has a coaching staff, but you don't have a coaching staff.
Huh.
I heard skeleton, so I don't know if that means offensive, defensive coordinators.
Does it just mean a ton of old people? Could it mean that?
What is wrong with old people? I mean,
nothing.
Old
It's
people
just
have
you said
experience.
skeleton, so I mean,
older people have experience. Experience that a younger person.
I didn't say anything negative. I just was reacting to the word skeleton. That's all. You said a skeleton coaching staff. Does that mean like that guy? What's that guy? Tom Moore? That guy? Is he still around?
I think he's still around.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't know if Tom Moore's involved in this. I have no. Well, maybe Josh McDaniels is involved in this. Is he a skeleton?
Oh God.
What do you mean? Oh God.
He can't.
You could tell me he's one of the great offensive coordinators during his time. Couldn't be a head coach.
No, he could not.
Probably got Matt Patricia on that staff.
Yeah, well, none of those
Joe
guys.
Judge is going to be on that staff.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? McDaniels and Belichick.
Bring the band back together. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And go somewhere where there's a legitimate quarterback that you can win with.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that job is available, because generally when there's legitimate quarterbacks, the coaches don't get fired.